Hey guys, how are you? Okay, I hope you guys can hear me. I'm going to adjust my camera and we should be live. Let me turn this a little bit. There we go. Okay, I'm going to wait for everybody to join. Okay guys, just going to hang out. Hello. All right. Just going to log on the computer and see on the Facebooks. See. Oh, here we go. There's Gina. Add. There, we're adding Gina on. Hey, kids. It's adding. Give it a minute. Oh, here she comes. Hang on, Gina. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay. I can hear you, but I can't see you.
And I can't see you, but I can hear you.
It's so weird. Hold on. Let me go on Facebook and see if we come up. Log in. That's strange. Okay, yeah, I can see you. All right, hold on 1 second. All right, I can see you now. I mean, I can see you from the Facebook, so everybody can see both of us at the same time.
Okay.
So anyway.
It's going to be weird not seeing your face, though.
I know it is, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
How is that, though?
I mean,
Let
your
me.
beautiful face and the
Oh, no.
the
The
expressions.
expressions are all about it. Hold on, maybe we could try something. Maybe we should try again. Let me try again. Should I try again?
Nah, let's just go.
All right, let's just go.
Let's just go.
Let's do it. Let's see. Mic, rotate, stickers, enhance. Hold on, let me see something. Nope, that's not it. Okay. All right. All right, let's just go. I could see you. I see
Let's
you.
go.
I can see you. I can't see you, but I can see you because I have the Facebook pulled up at the same time too.
Gotcha.
So that's all right. So let me just make sure I enable questions and answers so people can come on in if they want to join and then talk about menopause. Well, my mama didn't tell me.
Yes.
So, okay. So guys, we're going to start off with Gina and I are going to kind of touch off on our last live that we did about menopause and about what our mothers didn't tell us. So if any of you guys out there, if you're watching, if you decided to join us, has your mother told you about menopause? If she did, what did she tell you?
Mm-hmm.
My mom, the only thing she ever told me, first of all, my mother never told me actually when she went through menopause. She was, I want to say in her mid-50s. Now it's probably my mid-20s. And she really didn't discuss it. But I do remember she was miserable. How about you, Gina? Do you remember?
No,
Your
I
mom ever?
haven't. Yeah, no, I have no clue when, what age.
Uh-huh.
We never discussed any of it. Nothing.
She never discussed it?
Nope, I had no clue.
I do remember my mom suffering from like fibromyalgia and like inflammation after menopause.
Sure.
And that's when I actually started to get a lot of inflammation too, oddly enough. So
Yeah.
inflammation. And I remember as time went on, the only thing she said was that she had hot flashes, and that was about it. But I don't think like now we're learning so much more about menopause. I don't think she associated the other stuff, the other symptoms with it.
Right.
I think we just think of hot flashes and that's it.
Yeah, and I don't remember my mom having really anything else that she like really complained about.
Mm-hmm.
She didn't complain about joints aching. She didn't I don't know that she ever had frozen shoulder. I don't know if she did or not
Yeah.
ever. I don't ever recall anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I remember she'd break out in sweats if we were out to eat.
Okay. The
Um,
hot flash.
hmm
Mm-hmm.
But I just wondered, like, if they served her a habanero or something like that, you
Yeah.
know? So, yeah, but yeah, but it's just crazy because she could have been having symptoms
Uh-huh.
and just not knowing, kind of like what we've been through,
Yeah.
like not knowing that it's that.
Right.
So, but I don't ever remember her complaining about much bothering her.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, mine didn't. Yeah, mine didn't either.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, or any of my other. No, one of my aunts. I think I probably one of my aunts. She just recently passed. My mom's younger sister passed away this last summer.
Yeah.
She talked about it.
Okay.
And she basically, once she told me, I think she passed away last summer. She was 70. And I remember maybe years ago her saying that I will not I will not live without, like, I will make sure I always take my hormones and my Ativan, my Valium.
That's funny.
She's like, the only two things I can't live without are my hormones and my Valium.
So was she on HRT then?
Yes. So I want to say, I don't know the extent of it. I do know that she did use the estrogen cream.
Okay.
So I believe she was on the HRTs. Because oddly enough, it's interesting that you said that because my her husband, when I went to visit him over the summer,
Yeah.
said that she was always worried about getting breast cancer. So I think she was worried about that because she was taking the HRTs.
And probably because of the stigma
Right.
with it.
Right.
Mhm.
Yeah. So he said, well, because she passed away of a heart attack, but she was a smoker
Mhm.
and she still smoked. So he said, we didn't see the heart attack coming really. He goes, the one thing she really feared was breast cancer. And I'm like, well, and I remember telling him, well, that's really weird because breast cancer doesn't run in our family. And he says, yeah, I know that. I don't know why she was so afraid of getting breast cancer, but now that makes sense because she was taking the
Mhm.
HRTs. And she did that, I want to say from her early 50s on. She took them for many years.
But can you imagine? So that really speaks to the, having that fear or
Mhm.
maybe worry about that,
Yeah,
but yet she was so miserable without the HRTs
yeah,
that she was willing to risk that,
yep.
you
That's
know?
exactly that's exactly what um that's exactly what I was thinking too. Was wow, she was willing to risk that, thinking that in order to take them. So that kind of
Hmm.
like I kind of thought about that after I visited her husband and we were talking about it, and I'm like, wow, I go, she really
Yeah.
was worried about getting the breast cancer, but she still took it no matter what. And actually, when I went to visit her home
Hmm.
after she passed, I did I saw the estrogen cream like in her bathroom and stuff. I didn't
And you
really
picked
look.
it up and you put a little on your lines under your
I did.
eyes.
I did. I took that, and now I have an extra bottle for my. Oh, God. Don't judge me. So, but yeah, nobody really talked about it. But like we were saying before, like even during like when we were younger and we were going through puberty, my mom
Hmm.
didn't really talk about that either, and even less about the menopause.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Same on this end.
yeah.
Yeah,
So
the only person that really talked to me about it was my friend Julie, and I've mentioned that in previous episodes.
yeah,
Um, but even with her, she didn't. she didn't talk about other symptoms. She talked about the hot flashes. It was all hot flashes, you know, and so I guess I associated. Momo wants to come up and join us.
Oh yeah, Momo. All right, I'm gonna look at
So I guess I always associated that,
Momo.
okay, you go through the change and all you have is hot flashes, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And so when I was having symptoms like the heart palpitations, the dizziness, the frozen shoulder, I was amazed at how many comments on Dr. Mary Claire's post that she made about how they're finding the science is showing that frozen shoulder is common.
Yeah, I had that.
Mm-hmm.
I had the frozen shoulder went away with the HRT.
So
I
painful.
yeah, it's crazy because I remember like it starting during perimenopause, like before
Yes.
I went through actual menopause.
Me too.
Yes, I would be doing something and I'm like, oh God, like this weird pain in my shoulder, my left shoulder, just my left shoulder, a weird, really weird pain that would like I'd have to stop what I'm doing until it subsided and then I would be able to continue what I'm doing. And I'm like, geez, it was just the weirdest thing. And it's not like any other joint pain like I have in my knee or hip or whatever. It's
But you
completely
can't.
different.
You literally can't move your shoulder.
No.
You cannot move your arm.
Nope, can't move your arm. And it's like it comes and then it subsides. So but like you said, I think everybody talks about the hot flashes because they're not associating the other symptoms of menopause. They're not associating the inflammation, the heart palpitations. They don't think it's menopause. So they're not talking about it. That doesn't mean that it doesn't exist or that they don't have those symptoms, but it's probably, you know, the ones that we don't even think about. But all that, all that subsided once I started taking my hormones.
Yeah.
Well,
my frozen shoulder and the second shoulder was finally subsided by the time I was taking the hormones. But miserable, totally miserable. And, you know, just being told by a doctor again that, you know, they see a lot of this in women and that they're not sure if it's like led by autoimmune disorders or if it's they find it a lot in women who get MS. And so every time I had weird symptoms that I'd never, like really bizarre, like the dizziness, for example. I mean, horrendous vertigo that would almost like flatten me. Like, so my room would spin so fast and it would happen while I was driving.
Oh God.
And so every time I had something like that that would happen, I'm looking up symptoms of MS because I'm like, do I have MS? Like, do I have the start of that? Like, what is happening with my health, you know?
Yeah.
It almost makes me angry, but at the same time, like if doctors aren't getting this training on it, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like the doctor was very nice and he, you know, addressed what I needed to do for the frozen shoulder, but he just didn't know that, probably didn't know that that's linked.
Right. Yes.
So.
No, I agree. They probably didn't realize, you know, just like the heart palpitations.
Horrible. And they put me through heart testing. They put me through heart testing, you know, and then they're like, oh, well, we didn't find anything.
Right.
So then everything falls silent. So inside your brain, your female brain that's already generating like billions of thoughts that collide that look like a big railroad yard, right?
Yeah.
We've all seen that meme. The guy's thoughts is one track and where ours are all.
Yeah.
But you know, it made me wonder, should I go back? They never suggested like, well, maybe we should look a little further, maybe we should do X, Y, and Z. No, it just was kind of like, nope, we did the testing, we didn't find anything, and now it just dropped
Yeah.
off. But yet
Yeah.
I'm still having like my sport band would go off like
Mhm.
just randomly, and my heart rate would jump up to like 100, 120 beats per minute.
Oh, that's high.
It's high. It's
Yeah.
right.
Mine was skipped beats. Like I could feel the skipping
Mm-hmm.
of the beats. And it was very random.
Mm-hmm.
And it started in my mid 40s, just every so often. And then worse as I got closer to actual menopause.
Okay.
I did have an EKG in the ER once for something else.
Yeah.
And it showed something, but nothing. It wasn't. It just showed a skip beat, but nothing like, oh, you need to see a cardiologist. They were just
Right.
like, I don't know, it wasn't
They're
like
like,
anything
go
major.
away. Go
Mhm.
away.
Yeah, and it was very it was uncomfortable. The skip beats were really uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And but that went away when I started that definitely went away within, I want to say, about a week or two starting the patches.
Mm-hmm.
And I, knock on wood, I haven't had them since,
I think
which
with
is
me,
crazy to me.
yeah. I think with me that's about the time where I finally went in.
Yeah.
And I'm like something's like seriously wrong. Like I'm still having this going on with
Yeah.
my sport band going off. And I'm looking up to see if my sport band is like defective, but all of a sudden it's defective.
Yeah.
I don't know, it was just very bizarre. And that's about the time that they're like, well, try this anti-anxiety. Well, I knew that it wasn't anxiety. You know what I mean? It was like I
Yeah.
would be doing something random, like reading a book,
Yes.
and not thinking about something it was just bizarre. But they didn't call it, like, they didn't give me the anti-anxiety for anxiety. They gave it to me for the hot flashes. They said that can help the hot flashes, which I've heard for some women that helps.
Mm-hmm.
I would say that it did help. It didn't get rid of them,
Mm-hmm.
and it made me flat. I was so flat, mood
Yes.
wise,
Yeah.
So I finally called them. I'm like, I can't keep doing this. This is
Yeah.
not working.
Yeah. I remember you saying that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, it's not like all those other symptoms. But I'm so grateful that they have more research out there and they're figuring out the connection with all these things.
Definitely. And I
Yeah.
think that women's voice, like, it's becoming
Mm-hmm.
okay to talk about now. And women are speaking out, and and that's the thing. It normalizes it. Like, otherwise you think you're going crazy, and the
Mm-hmm.
doctors are making you think that you're going crazy.
Oh God, yes, I know.
So
Or it's unnecessary. Like like the HRTs are like, just suck it up. It's a normal part of life, and you're gonna feel
right.
crappy probably for the that was the other thing, was like oh well, it's just a part of life. I can give you all these other medications that will help your symptoms, but
Yes.
um
But then you got all this other symptoms from the medication,
yes, no, yeah, absolutely,
including waking. And so when I went back after I emailed them, I'm like, this is not like, this is how my mood is. Like, this is how I wasn't depressed. It was like I just felt no emotion. I
yeah.
felt nothing. I felt empty. And they're like, oh, we need to get you off of these. So then when I went back, the new doctor, because my other doctor
Uh-huh.
retired, and I think she's like a nurse practitioner, whatever. But
Right.
anyways, I told her, I said, I've got this weight gain that I cannot seem, like, no matter what I do, it's not dropping. I've
Mhm.
got, these hot flashes, blah, blah. And she's like, well, I see that you were on this medication. And I'm like, yeah. And she's like, well, we can try a different anti-anxiety medication.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, we could try that. And I said, but like, isn't that going to contribute to weight gain? Yeah, that can contribute to weight gain. I'm like, I'm trying to tell you that, and it's like, it's no big deal.
Right.
She told me we get wide as we get older.
Oh, I remember.
As we age, we get wide. And I thought, you know, here's my concern. My dad had heart disease. He had quadruple bypass surgery when I was in 8th grade. And so, you know, my mom was like borderline diabetic. So my concern isn't that I'm wide. Okay. My concern is what are the health implications of this added weight that I'm carrying around now, right?
Well, there's showing association of cholesterol increasing too during menopause.
Yes, and that happened too. So, but I'm thinking, but now you're going to put me on a medication that's going to worsen that issue.
Yeah.
How is this not making sense to me? I don't know. How is it not making sense to this person? You know?
Yeah.
And that's when he referred me to the specialist, which immediately she's like, we got to get you sleeping. Like, I wasn't sleeping either.
That's one of the worst things, not sleeping.
No sleep. Any of you ladies who listen to this, if you have like gone sleepless nights, constantly waking up, that was the worst. Because you have to function the next day. Everybody's depending on you to do all this crap for them. And then they're wondering why you're crappy.
Right. Absolutely. And that's the other thing is the not sleeping, the weight gain, the inflammation, the bone. I had bone pain. Now this is very interesting. My mom has now severe osteoporosis. She has had knee replacement and hip fracture.
Yeah.
One of the reasons I decided to take the HRTs is because of that too. I plan to live an active life as long as I can, and I don't want to be restricted by, all these other, increased joint pain, decrease in bone mass, stuff like that. Muscle mass is another thing too.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're right. And then the cholesterol, my cholesterol did go up, which normally was very normal. That started going up in just before menopause too. So, and the thing too is like everybody doesn't, it's the menopause experts talk about that too, is that you're going to go on all these things, eating right, the statins and whatnots are not going to help it that much.
Right.
They're not. And it's treating the core problem is the estrogen deprivation.
Yeah.
And the other thing too is that I don't think a lot of people understand. Actually, and this is what I'm going to talk about, is I talked with another coworker, a friend of mine actually, and she was telling me that I was the first person she's 57 and I'm 55. She said, you're the first person to ever, out of all my girlfriends, just openly talk about menopause. And she didn't know that she had options. So I gave her a menopause clinic. I gave her the books to get and stuff. And she texts me about 2 weeks later and says, you saved my marriage. You saved my life. Because we talked about sex too. That's the other thing that they're not talking about too, is that the pain during sex, during menopause is real. And no amount of Astroglide or lubrication is going to help you.
Right.
It may help a little bit to ease lubrication, but it is not going to give you sensation back. And I'm going to be open about that because at 55, if you're still, active with whomever or your spouse, that's something you don't want to give up. I don't want to give that up at 55 with my husband. My husband and I like each other. You know what I'm saying?
Well, and when you're like, for me, I would be literally in tears. And then he's feeling bad.
Yes, and they feel bad for you. Yes, literally in tears. my girlfriend and I were talking, the one I was talking to her about menopause, the apprehension. She says, my husband thinks that I don't want him. And she's like, that's not it. It's not that I don't want my husband. It's just extremely painful when you're having sex. And I told her, I said, Halle Berry discussed this and said that they misdiagnosed her with a STD, which she did not have. She just had severe pain during sex.
Right.
And she said it felt like shredded glass. And it did. It was, I remember like actually the time that, it started to become painful. And I'm like, I don't want to live the rest of my, marriage out like this, not wanting to be with my husband because of the pain.
Right.
And the estrogen cream is the only thing that is going to get those tissues down there out of atrophy. They're going to waken them up. They're going to plump up. Those tissues are going to plump up. Those tissues are going to wake up. You're going to start feeling, pleasure instead of pain again. And the estrogen cream is proven it does not cause cervix cancer. It does not cause uterine cancer. It is estrogen cream that is necessary even for your urethra because it helps it from collapsing on itself. Because I was having pain when I was going to the bathroom. When I was, when I went to go urinate, I was having pain. I'm like, why? Even to sit down, I'm like, wow, why do I have a bladder infection? Like, why does this hurt so bad? All of a sudden, just after 1 year of not having my period, going into menopause, I was having pain even sitting down. And I like, it's got to be another way. And then my doctor gave me, she said, use Astroglide. And she says every night, okay, maybe a little bit help. I go, but this is not helping at all. Not until I start taking the estrogen cream, and it's completely safe to take it. And I tell all my girlfriends, even those who, I've had breast cancer, or I in my family, or I've had this, or blood clots, the estrogen cream will not cause any of that. It is a cream for the vagina. It will not, it is not systemic. It will not go into your system. If you're worried about it being in your blood, having it just as a cream is going to make your life so much better. I'm just saying.
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
It really is crazy and maddening,
Mm-hmm. And I don't know, a doctor, I think it was Kelly Casperson is a urogynecologist. She's a urogynecologist, and she has an Instagram, Dr. Kelly Casperson, and she has a podcast too. I love her. And she talks about, she goes, if you don't want to take anything else, if you don't want to take the progesterone or the estrogen patch, at least take the estrogen cream. Take the estrogen cream, vaginally, just so you do, because you are at a higher risk of getting urine infections as you get older. Those walls and those muscles collapse without that estrogen that you need, and you are at a higher risk. Women in menopause that are much higher risk of getting urine infections, urinary tract infections, because of that. So that was a big thing for me. And I told my girlfriend to go, if you don't get anything else, if you're so worried about everything, at least do the cream. At least do the estrogen cream vaginally. You'll be fine.
And really finding that expert, that's the big thing. Like if you're feeling like you're being shoved off or disregarded, find the expert, find the person who's an expert in this. And there's, you got to probably search sometimes. There's women I know who they don't have a specialist in their town, so they, end up having to go somewhere else. But if you're feeling that way with your provider, find a different provider. You need someone who's going to listen to you. You need someone who's going to talk to you about the options and tell you about the pros and cons. And, that is what my provider did. I came right out and asked her, what is all the hype about not doing the HRTs? Because my first doctor refused to prescribe that. She wanted me to start, what do you call it? Like herbal things or whatever.
Mine did too. She gave me herbal supplements.
So I got these supplements. yeah, I got these supplements over the counter, but I'm like, what am I putting in my body? I don't even know if these are like legit or what. You know what I mean? And I mean, I guess we never really know what we're putting in our bodies when we're taking whatever, but I just, and that didn't help the hot flashes.
No.
I feel like it didn't help them at
No.
all. So, and for some people, again, it might work for some people. You know, some women say they had like a brief, you know, thing with hot flashes and they've been fine ever since. So everybody
They are
experiences these things differently, right?
very
So,
differently. Right. But again, it's not just about the hot flashes. That's the other thing. My hot flashes were not horrible. Like I mean, the hot flashes were uncomfortable, but they were bearable. So it's not about the hot flashes.
yeah,
For me, it was about thinking I was going nuts because of the palpitations, the pain during sex, the feeling foggy. My brain was like, I could not quite pinpoint the emotions I was feeling. I don't want to say it was depression. I don't want to really say I can't. I wasn't myself. It wasn't feeling sad. It wasn't feeling mad. It was a combination of weird emotions and
yeah,
unable to sleep. So again, when I tell women, hey, just consider it, read this book or just look into it, they like, my hot flashes aren't bad. I go, I get that, but it's not just about the hot
right.
flashes. It's about joint replacement, osteoporosis, muscle loss. It's other stuff. Hot flashes are okay, manageable for some people. They're
Right,
uncomfortable, but that's not the core problem
right.
during menopause. The hot flashes are, you're thinking menopause is only hot flashes. It is a laundry list of stuff. A laundry list of
And
stuff.
a progressive thing
Yeah.
as you continue to age too. I
Oh,
just want to stop and say
100%.
hi, Mary Beth. Welcome to our menopause
Oh,
discussion.
we're hot. No, Gina, we're hot talking about it.
We're
We're hot
hot.
and we're mad.
That's right. That's right. And see, for
We're
me,
hot
the
and
hot
we're mad,
flash.
and we want to be heard.
That,
Okay.
that's right. And see, for me, the hot flashes were absolutely unbearable. Like
Yeah.
I would get this pressure in my head. I felt like my head was going to explode every
Ooh.
single time. And yeah,
Yeah.
so I just couldn't. It was ridiculous.
Yeah. My
So I
yeah.
just,
Mine were like I said, my hot flashes weren't bad, but once the other stuff for me, the other stuff was like I'm like, what the heck is wrong with me? Like I feel like crap, and
uh-huh.
it was getting worse. Like as the years were going on, I'm like, this is getting worse and worse and worse. It's not getting any better.
Yeah,
And but another thing I wanted to touch on what you said too, Gina, is when you said, listen, if your provider doesn't hear you, and it's only because they don't have enough education and experience about it.
right.
Because again, with menopause symptoms, they're taught very little in medical school about menopause. OB/GYN is mostly for, IVF and delivering babies and things like
Right.
that. But there are menopause clinics online that you could find. I went through one and they were very good. They did order labs. Their insurance, most insurance covers it. My insurance covered it. So they will prescribe you. They'll do a questionnaire. They'll do a face-to-face on video. They'll order labs for you to go get it done at your nearest lab.
Yeah.
Very easy. So there are menopause clinics out there online that are legit, like
Right.
My Menopause RX is one, I think, and there's a few others.
Yes.
But they will listen to you, because when at first when my provider didn't really want to prescribe them, she gave me supplements like herbal, and I'm like, this not working. I'm still feel crappy. I still can't sleep. I still whatever.
Yeah.
My girlfriend Jennifer told me, she goes, I went to this menopause clinic. It was online, virtual visit. Within that, like after that first visit, I told them exactly. I said, my mom, has osteoporosis, my mom this, my mom that. And they're like, you're a perfect candidate. We're going to, get some labs done. But in the meantime, they did prescribe the patches, the progesterone, and the cream. Within 2 weeks, it was like, I got my life back.
Yeah. And that's the thing, like when you go to the specialist, or if you see the specialist online, like how Debbie did it, that's the thing. They're going to talk to you about your history. They're going to talk to you about your own past medical. They're going to do those labs. They're going to do this whole evaluation on you. So, because I do have I have a couple friends that have had breast cancer. They are not a candidate for this, for HRT. Absolutely not, because the hormones are what the particular breast cancer that they have feeds. And so, and then I have another
breast cancer, but not all of them.
Right. And then I have another girlfriend who has, what they found, she has very high blood pressure. They will not prescribe, so when you get a specialist, they're not just going to say, oh, you want the HRT, we're going to put you on it. They're going to do a whole evaluation, and they're going to have a big, long talk with you about these options. And so, but I found that having this provider sit with me and explaining those things and hearing me when I said I'm not sleeping, and hearing me when I said this weight gain is bothering me, you just keep on walking, make sure you're getting your proteins and your vegetables and your fruits. It wasn't like, well, just deal with it because we get wide as we get older. She offered solutions, which I know that. I know to exercise. I know all of that. But to know that I'm being heard. And I know for each and every one of you, knowing you're being heard by your provider is the big thing right there.
And validating you.
Yes.
That's the thing. It's not in your head.
Right.
Yeah, no, and that's true. Validating you when you're going through this, and then and understanding what you're talking about. Like when I did the one online, they were like, she was like, yes, yes, yes. It's like I didn't feel so alone. I felt like, oh my God, I'm not the only one going through this with all the same symptoms.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah, but there are options out there. And even like you said, every provider that specializes in this will talk to you and what are your options with your history. Even like, you were talking about the breast cancer, even then they may suggest the vaginal cream. That still is going to help with stuff. That's still going to help prevent UTIs and give you, prevent the atrophy down there and make you more comfortable. So they're just, everybody's different and everybody's individual. So when you talk to them, they're going to give you what the plan is. And, don't think that, you're not a candidate because you're, aunt's cousin on the whatever side had something. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
They're going to just go over your history and treat you individually.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. But I think more we need to talk about it more. I really do, because when I do talk about people, they still have that fear and that stigma that's associated with it.
Well, and what's so surprising to me, Debbie, is that, so as you get older, so we're out in the sun from young ages, spraying oil and water on ourselves, right? Okay. You need to go to a dermatologist. You've got fair skin, you need to go to dermatologist, get your skin checked, you need to go to the specialist, but not once was you're starting to hit that time of your life where you're going to be going through this change. We need to refer you to a specialist to talk about, these things and kind of review, like they don't connect you with a specialist. I didn't even know a specialist existed in this.
I didn't either.
until I heard like Halle Berry coming out with stuff. And then I saw Dr. Mary Claire and I'm like, what? Like this stuff exists?
Yes, yeah. I didn't know either. And I was, very much associating like OB-GYN.
Yes.
And that's another thing. Not every OB-GYN is going to specialize in menopause either.
Right.
So don't get discouraged. When you make an appointment or when you look for someone, do you treat menopause? Do you treat,
Yes.
make sure that they are aware and are educated about menopause and the symptoms and, all that stuff. So when you do look for a provider, and then I think there's more and more out there too. They're starting to come out of the woodwork and stuff like that. And I know I've referred a ton of people to like one of the online ones, and everybody's been extremely happy. My girlfriend gave me the online one, and they've been very very good, great reviews and stuff. So but yeah, specialists absolutely 100% in menopause medicine.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I don't know.
How are you feeling, Gina? I know you weren't feeling well.
Oh yeah, today I'm starting to be on this upswing, but I think from blowing my nose so much or sneezing so hard, my whole chest wall, like when I cough, it hurts.
Yes.
I can't say it hurts. It's just very uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And so
whatever it is nasty what is going around.
Yeah. So I have an event all day tomorrow, and then Sunday I'll rest before I start the whole shindig again. So, but otherwise, I'm feeling like I went through 3 boxes of Kleenex. That's pretty remarkable.
Yeah, I can't believe how much phlegm the body can make. Because I was
and it was just from running. It was just running. It was like just diarrhea of the nose. I'm not even kidding. And I swear a whole like redwood tree was killed for the purpose of my nose for the last 2 days.
Isn't that crazy? That's so nuts.
It's nuts. Yeah. So, but on the upswing, Debbie's on the upswing. We kind of had a familiar theme this week of we're battling illness, guys. So thank you for putting up with our slacking on posts and stuff. We're treading water and trying to keep our heads above. So, but we're getting back in the swing of things. So, anyways, and the book that I posted, ladies, I'm telling you, like, this is a young author in our area, and this book, check it out. I posted a picture of the cover. Really fun, like just a fun book, and it's about these it's almost like kingdoms. Kingdoms. This gal goes in the kingdoms, but there's different kingdoms have different powers and stuff like that. I'm not typically a fiction reader,
right?
But I thought, you know what? I want to support this author because she came and bought one of my Burnt Glove Boxes books for me when I did my book signing. I thought I'm going to support her. Well, I dove into this book and I'm like hooked. So support your young authors, ladies. Oh my gosh, they're so wonderful. This is the second young authors book that I've read from our area, and I'm just amazed by it. And then I'm going to be the school that she goes to. I'm going to be going to, I think she goes to that school. But anyways, I'm going to be going to the junior high. I'm not sure how old she is. Maybe she's in high school. I'm not sure.
Oh my God. But, that young.
Oh yeah. Oh,
wow.
And just phenomenal writing.
Wow.
But so I'm going to go speak at the junior high. They're doing a young writers conference at the junior high, and I was invited to come and speak to the writers about becoming an author. So, yeah, I mean, give back to your youth. Like they're going to be caring for us in the nursing homes. We need to be nice to them.
Absolutely. That's a very good point. Absolutely.
Especially if you want them to play your favorite music. So.
all the 80s jams. Can you believe it? Our oldies are going to be like The Cure or the Bon Jovi.
Yeah. When I was working in the nursing home program, I walked through the hall of a nursing home one day, and it was like Kansas or something like that was playing from a room, blaring from the room, and I thought, here it is. Here, we're here.
What was it? What was playing? What was playing in the room? Wait, what was playing in the room? You said
like Kansas or Boston,
oh.
like yeah.
Here we are. We're getting closer.
I was
my God, Kansas or
so
Boston.
depressed. I wanted to just check myself in, like literally. I'm like, it's over with. We're here. We're here.
That is so funny.
Yeah, get me my meatloaf and my mashed potatoes, and give me my nightgown. I'm going to bed.
Nightgown. Listening to. Oh my God, that is so funny. I bet you they never thought at some point Boston was going to be their classic music. You know what I mean?
Well, and I always joked about it with my friend Julie. I always joked that the two of us will be in a nursing home and we'll be dancing to Bon Jovi music, or whatever. But like, I was joking, and that made it like real for me. And I'm like, I don't know how much I'm liking this.
Way too close for comfort.
Yes, way too close.
There's this one comedian. Oh God, I can't remember his name. He's really funny. Jim something.
Gaffigan.
No, his name is Jim something. But he talked about Metallica being on the oldies station.
Oh
my God.
know. All of them are on the oldies station now.
So he was talking about how he was going to be a grandpa.
Classic rock.
Classic rock. He said like how he was going to be when he becomes a grandpa, he's going to be sitting in the back seat and he's going to tell them to turn the oldies and it's going to be Metallica, like Master of Puppets and stuff.
It's crazy.
I was laughing. It was so funny.
I refuse to listen to classic rock stations now because the day they played Bon Jovi, I'm like, he is not classic rock. I will not listen to your station ever again.
I know. When you listen to the classic rock stations, you're like, that's a little too close for comfort.
That's right.
That is too funny. It's hilarious. That's so
So I
funny.
I boycott.
You boycott, I don't blame you.
Have to.
Or when you talk to people that are younger, and like, I think I was, when I was working the COVID clinic, I had younger, employees, and we were having fun and we were playing music, and I said, oh, like this song, and it was like from the 90s or early 2000s, and no one knew what I was talking about. I'm like, come on, guys, it wasn't that long ago. It wasn't that long ago. Like, but I realized the 2000s, like the year 2000 was actually like 25 years ago. So it was.
Well, let me tell you this. So usually Mike, he has like the beatbox, boo, 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 or like really heavy metal playing, rah, 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 rah. So the last couple of days I've come home, he's got the TV in the living room. He's got a speaker or something hooked up to something out there. I don't know. And he's listening to soundtracks.
He was listening to soundtracks?
Soundtracks, but orchestra soundtracks. And it's like calming. And I'm like, oh boy. We've reached that age, right?
That's so funny.
Oh my gosh, it's crazy.
My husband loves soundtracks. He plays, it's so funny, he plays them when he works out sometimes. So, and now they're familiar to me because like I've been like, programmed to recognize them. And then we were working out downstairs, we're lifting the weights, and he's playing a soundtrack. And then, we're doing our muscles and lifting our weights. And I'm like, I look at him, I go, is this Superman? He goes, yeah. I'm like, I just feel so empowered lifting the weights to listen to the Superman soundtrack right now.
Hopefully nobody brings in kryptonite.
I know, right? Exactly. That's hilarious. But
crazy.
Anyway. All right. Well, I really enjoyed this. I can't wait to upload this on our Spotify and really start talking about like, things that people, just start talking about
Yeah.
stuff, being open and talking about these things. And
Absolutely. And ladies, please share about our podcast with other ladies that you know. We really want to get this word out. We really want to get the conversations going. Debbie and
yeah,
I have a lot of fun things up our sleeves that we're kind of working the nuts and bolts of. But for right now, invite people to go on and follow us, please,
yeah,
because we
please,
want to
please.
keep these conversations going. They're
Mhm.
really, really important. And plus, we have a lot of really cool guests if you don't like listening to the two of us. So we have great guests who are doing amazing, powerful women who are doing amazing things in our world to make
Yeah,
a difference. So, so please share with
so
folks
inspiring.
and spread the word.
Yes,
It
they're
takes
so.
takes a community or
It does.
village.
It takes.
Village. It takes a village.
It takes a village. Yeah, no, these women are so inspiring, so inspiring.
Yeah,
So, but
absolutely.
I really enjoy this conversation. I get really,
I do
really
too.
passionate when we talk about the menopause stuff. Ladies, again, if you are intimate with your spouse and all of a sudden you smell burnt rubber or road rash, estrogen cream.
Uh,
You know,
TMI.
that's all right. We're being open here. It's all
We're being
right. It's something that
That's right.
I put on our TikTok. I
That's
know.
right.
It's okay. It's supposed to be funny. It's the funny part. If
I
we
love
can't
it.
talk about the 50, being 50 and about stuff like that
We
and be
can't
funny about it.
talk about burnt rubber. What can we talk about?
Right. If we can't talk about road rash down there, what else can we talk about?
You being a dot.
If we can't talk about how you're having hot flashes because you're in menopause and now
Right.
your husband is hypothyroid because he's older and you can't decide on whether to put the thermostat, what can we talk about?
Oh
My
God.
husband's cold, I'm hot.
He has an electric blanket. An
Oh,
electric
your husband?
blanket that he got for Christmas. And like that
Oh,
would be the first gift. Electric blanket, and had the heat up to almost 90. Not our house heat, but like we have a extra heater in our bedroom because
yeah.
that is in addition to the house heat, almost on 90.
Yeah, your house is hot.
Oh, my house is hot because he's cold. I'm cold
Yeah.
and everything.
Yeah,
So I'm like,
that's right.
the
The
other
last time
morning
I
I'm
stayed at,
like, dude,
yeah.
you gotta turn it
Oh,
down a notch. Literally.
I know. The last time I stayed at when I came to visit you, I was like, wow, they really keep their house really hot. My sinuses, my sinus is dehydrated.
They, meaning him. All those like marks in the snow that you saw, that's from me rolling around outside in the morning to freshen up.
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
I don't know how it's gonna work.
Thanks, Mary
These,
Beth, for tuning in. We really appreciate it. We love you. We love all of you. If
thank
you're tuning in
you
later
guys.
on. Yeah, thank you so much. And we'll see you next week.
Okay,
I don't even have the guest pulled up, but stay
that's all right.
tuned this weekend. Tomorrow I'm at a show all day, so Sunday we'll post, or later tomorrow night I'll post our next guest. That'll be
Yep.
on this coming Friday.
All right. All right, Gina, I love you.
Love you too. Bye, everybody.
Bye, everyone. Okay. We'll see you next
Yeah.
time.